All right, joining me now, Cameron Hamilton, former Navy SEAL who trained IDF members in Israel. Cameron, welcome to the show. We appreciate it very much. The reports are ground forces starting to mass into Gaza. Commandos are on the ground. Special forces, as you know, have been on the ground to help the precision bombing. Let me just ask you, I mean, this is not, I don't mean to demean this, but this is not Israel's first rodeo. They know how to go after Hamas and terrorists. They understand tunnels. I just wanted to get your thought as someone who's been engaged with them. I think there's a lot of hand-wringing, frankly. I know this is a bigger deal, don't get me wrong, but the fact is, I think people should have a little more confidence in the Israeli Defense Forces. What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely, Larry. Thank you for having me. I would agree with that sentiment. The IDF are some of the most remarkable and brave soldiers that I ever had the opportunity to train with and to ultimately train on some of our advanced tactics from the war on terror. Their capabilities are far-ranging. They have infrastructure, resources that all integrate in a very cohesive fashion. So while this is a new conflict in the sense that perhaps the bombings or the specific techniques employed by Hamas might be new or novel, or the threats, but the overall mission itself is not something that's new to Israel, unfortunately. They're all too prepared, and I think that they're going to be very swift and effective with how they remediate this. I
mean, I think that, I know it was a surprise, and we can worry about intelligence breakdowns later on, but the fact of the matter is, I think that this will increase the determination, if you will, or the morale of the Israeli citizens and particularly their defense forces, because they're furious at how these, children were treated and grandmothers were treated, and in general, this unexpected war. I mean, to me, I'm not going to say that it's awakening a sleeping giant like America in World War II, but, it's a bit like that. Okay, it was a wake-up call, but now Israel's furious.
I think that's an accurate statement. And based on the conversations that I've had with members of the IDF and former members of the IDF as well, that very much seems to be the reality on the ground. I think with conflicts like this, especially with the possibility of engaging in conflict and multi-front warfare, both in the north and the south, the resolve of the IDF and all the other supporting mechanisms that they're utilizing for national defense has really made some astonishing successes here. So they've stood up an entire Northern Command as a deterrent for Hezbollah to enter the war. They believe it will be very effective. They've also set up a very robust Southern Command component so that they're going to be able to go, block by block, street by street in Gaza and clear. We're already hearing reports about commandos that are there currently engaging in both intelligence collecting as well as combat operations against or counterterrorism operations. So I agree with you. The feedback that I'm receiving overwhelmingly is that it is having a great unifying effect. We've also seen that in their government. The Israeli government has unified under a coalition government right now so as to ensure that their people have an intact and effective leadership.
I mean, it's tough stuff. Cameron, listen to what, I'm sure you know General Jack Keane. Listen to what General Keane said on this show last night. Please take a listen.
And Larry, I mean, we got to be upfront about what needs to be done here. We need to kill them. That's the only thing that stops these guys. They are absolutely committed to this barbarism, and we got to go in and kill them, just like we did with ISIS, just like we did with the Al-Qaeda.
I mean, Cameron, General Keane, tough old guy, a lot of experience. I think he laid out the mission. I mean, unfortunately, war is hell, but we shouldn't be wringing hands. We should be rallying behind the IDF. I mean, they're going to have to do what they're going to do, and there's going to be some collateral damage, but that was brought upon by Hamas. And I don't want to make any excuses for Hamas. I want to make all the support I can for the IDF.
Yeah, Larry, I completely agree with that statement. The nature of warfare is always a calamity in the sense that it takes a great toll on many. But again, Israel did not start this conflict, but they sure do have the resolve, I believe, to finish it. So they've declared officially war within their cabinet, And their ultimate goal and objective is the complete and utter elimination of Hamas. I think that's an effective strategy. And they also go through great lengths and strides so as to preserve human life. The benevolence of this people is remarkable. So they even subjugate some of their troops and personnel in situations that are highly risky, that are way beyond the acceptable level of risk that we would accept for American troops, so as to minimize casualties against civilians. It's really just a remarkable and impossible job.
Yes, sir. Cameron Hamilton, thanks for coming on. Hope to see you.